I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
These are the latter days.
Quite miraculous, really, through the gift and power of God. We have a lot of suggestions about how it was done. We know that they had a table like this. We know they had the golden plates covered usually, and Joseph used these the Urim and Thummim seer stones in the hat, and it was easier for him to see the light when he take that position.
Our Savior and Redeemer Jesus Christ will perform some of his mightiest works between now and when he comes again. We will see miraculous indications that God the Father and his Son Jesus Christ preside over this church in majesty and glory. But in coming days it will not be possible to survive spiritually.
In the coming day, the Lord will return to this holy land. Then the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together.
In coming days, we will see the greatest manifestations of the Savior's power that the world has ever seen. Between now and the time he returns with power and great glory, do you see what is happening right before our eyes? Second coming of the Lord. Jesus Christ will govern from Old Jerusalem and the New Jerusalem, built upon the American continent. In the coming day, Jesus Christ will return to the earth as the millennial Messiah, or the second coming.
Every day we are one day closer to the coming of the Lord. As President Russell M. Nelson taught us last October conference.
Increased time in the temple will help us prepare for the second coming of our Savior, Jesus Christ. We do not know the day or the hour of his coming,
we are instructed to give unto you the law of chastity, which is that the women of God's kingdom and the men of God's kingdom shall have no sexual relations except with those to whom they are legally and lawfully wedded according to his law. Each of you bring your right arm to the square. You and each of you individually covenant and promise before God, angels, and these witnesses that you will observe and keep the law of chastity as it has been explained to you. Each of you bow your head and say yes. Yes. Thank you.
The mandate given by the First Presidency and the presiding bishopric is to only focus on financial growth. EPA employees are told that the money will be used after the second coming of Jesus Christ or during Armageddon right before he would come again.
I have faith that the Constitution will be saved as prophesied by Joseph Smith. But it will not be saved in Washington.
Travis Wayne Goodsall. After doing my Trump Ice video last night, I then went, oh, okay, I've got nothing for today, tomorrow, today, this morning. And then I checked my little thing for the month of June and saw the 16th, and I saw Mars, Leo, Regulus. I went, oh crap, Nelson made it. We're all doomed. And then I checked the bigger sign in the heavens and went, oh, O-R-E-O. So a needle pulling thread, La, a drink of dram and bread, Ray, a drop of acid rain. In the beginning, I was born and raised Mormon in the Covenant Path. Church told me to study, I studied. And so, had the opportunity to learn biblical Hebrew. Walter Emanuel Offrecht from the University of Lethbridge told us that nobody had deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. Showed us some examples of what scholars were checking into but could never quite figure it out. And I went, oh, I can show that Joseph Smith is true. And that's what I spent my time on during the class. Doing extracurricular activities of trying to see how Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 could be translated correctly. And he told me the biblical Hebrew text was specifically fixed into one and only one translation. Oh, so Paleo-Hebrew is open to, yep. Ding, 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 ding. Joseph Smith is a translator, Mormons, for which all Mormons want me dead and silenced. He's true. Oops. I have been under attack. But also my education, other than the one class in biblical Hebrew that caused me to decipher Paleo-Hebrew, and is available on academia.edu. But I would also go on to learn about the ancient Middle East. I took classes that in the end resulted in me becoming the foremost anthropologist of the ancient Middle East. I am the expert that you need to refer to when referring to anything that happens in the Middle East when you need historical context. Me, no one else. Yet. And so, I learned about their learning anciently. The learning of the Jews, the language of the Egyptians, the learning of the Egyptians, learning of the Hittites, learning of the Canaanites, learning of the Assyrians, learning of the Babylonians, learning of the Syrian or Persians, all of them. That was my education. And so I learned about the Assyrian king And I've done the videos a couple of times for you, at least, over the 8.7K videos, in which he was concerned about a solar eclipse while in the midst of the battle, because they understood it, that it meant the death of the king and the kingdom. And so me, being the foremost anthropologist of the ancient Middle East, in 2007, President James E. Faust died under a lunar eclipse that I know of. And I went, oh, that's interesting. It works for religion too, does it? Not just government for solar eclipses. Oh, little did I know. Oh, Travis, you think you're the foremost scholar in ancient Middle East for anthropology. So much to learn. So much to learn. So, then Hinckley died, just a few months later. Oh, also a lunar eclipse. Yep, didn't have access to the internet. They didn't have the necessary stuff back then anyway. Well, what do you know? We've got two leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who die under lunar eclipses. Fascinating. So Monson took over, and he locked me up, disappeared me in a black site location here in Utah, tortured me, tried to murder me, erased me from history. All because I'm a translator, he's not. He was offended. Couldn't handle it well. Paid the Judas price to have me murdered. But I got out in 2014. We're doing a summary here. Doing a summary. And in 2014, I'm learning about this new technology called TV. And the news was reporting that a lunar eclipse was going to happen. I went, oh, I wonder if a death of Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint prophet's going to die. And no, nothing. So time goes on. I have my one-on-one encounter with President Russell Marion Nelson as just an elder at Super Smith's downtown. And he's angry. Either he knows that he had signed the check to have me destroyed, or he was just upset because I didn't rush to help him. I'm new at this too, you dumbass. Nobody came to help me, as the little girl came and helped you. Knowing who you were. Nonetheless, we get closer to the October conference, and oh, the news reports another lunar eclipse. Oh, guys, come on. 2 lunar eclipses? Why didn't you tell me? So I was looking for two deaths. LDS prophets. Nope. Nothing. Okay. Well, I guess that test is ruined. The ancients were wrong. What do they know? What do they know? And then for Saturday morning sessions of General Conference 2015, then the news decides to report it's a tetrad. You bastards. Bastard-goated bastards. Why didn't you tell me in the beginning? Why didn't you tell me in the beginning? And then, boom, Perry, Packer, Scott. Or shall we say, oh, the signs in the heaven are true. And so I was just going to leave it at that. I run the test, got the full information, found out the full information was correct. And so was moving on with my life. The rest of Mormonism was panicked. Chad Daybell emerged as the great Antichrist, murderer, butcherer of little children. Monson said, no, this is not the sign for the latter days. We're not there yet. Keep paying your tithing. Move along. But nonetheless, the very next year, the 4th of November, 2016. Fox 13 News Utah, and I've repeated this story so many times over the years. So many times. Those who follow have heard this. We've heard all this, Travis. Get to the point. Get to the point. Made their big announcement, which they didn't really see as a big announcement. Waited until a final segment before they ended for the morning, forcing me to watch the whole show, teasing me that it could be at any time and it was the last thing they talked about. They announced the total solar eclipse over the United States of America. My jaw dropped, eyes wide open. Remember, I'm the foremost anthropologist of the ancient Middle East. I know exactly what it meant. Fox 13 News Utah didn't. Astronomers don't. They would tell you that, well, you see, the ancients believed that it was superstitious and kings were afraid, and that's as far as they knew. It's not your field of subject. Shut up on it. Just say you don't know. Astronomers are not the ones to talk about the ancient Middle East. Let them talk about the signs in the heavens, and let it stick to that. Stay in your field, guys. Stay in your field. Stay in your lane. But I knew what it meant. I'm an anthropologist of the ancient Middle East. So yes, I understand astronomy better than astronomers do. That's what that means. I knew that America was going to fall, as well as the great and abominable church was going to fall. So yeah, My #1 video, still to this day, because it panicked the church and they forced YouTube to shut me down ever since. To cyber terrorize and destroy me because I know what's coming. Remember? The foremost anthropologist of the ancient Middle East. You need to consult me. And so, sure enough, the solar eclipse occurred at the star Regulus, the king star. Solar eclipse, the moon in the sun, standing in the sun. That's for those of you who know about Revelation 19. Verse 11 and 17, for the final day of darkness over the United States of America. Yep. Mercury and Mars were also in conjunction with that sign in the heavens. So I had to figure out, okay, well, which one would be the government leader? Which one would be the religious leader? Remember? Do you remember? And so I've been doing some research now on the signs in the heavens throughout 2017. I would go on to publish, which is available for free on academia.edu. Do not pay for it. It is incomplete because it was 2017. It needs to be updated bigly, because I've been doing YouTube videos for you all these years that need to be included in it. Because there's been some wild Mr. Toad's rides on our latter-day journey. That's why I keep doing the videos reminding you that Russell Marion Nelson is Mars. Baby name meaning husband of Venus, symbol of inverted pentagram, assigned to Lucifer. Thus, the bride, Lucifer, Mars, Lucifer. But they had a baby in the Roman theology whose actual name was Lucifer, and thus Isaiah, in the Latin Vulgate only. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Russell Marion, on 9/11/2023, son of the morning, son of Venus, Lucifer, Latin Vulgate only. Hilarious. And so it would mean that Mars is going to pave the way for Oaks. Oh no, wait, he doesn't. He doesn't get the throne. Oh no, Oaks. Oh no. Oh no. I know you've been drooling for it. You know there was only one way that you're going to get it. Nelson has been violating his temple covenant paths. You did it with others. So, doing research, I went to the scriptures to find other signs, to see if I can find them for the latter days. And I came to the obvious location of Revelation chapter 12. There appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Pretty simple. It's referring to the signs in the heavens. And so, having obtained an app for the Stellarium program, I began my search, starting with the solar eclipse over the United States of America. And went into the future. Rocks in a hat, looking into the future. Just find the woman clothed with the sun, the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Found it! The very next month. 23rd of September, 2017. Then I went and checked YouTube to see if anybody else knew about it. Yep, there was a guy who knew about it since 2016. He was popular. He had prettier pictures than I did. He had a different Stellarium program, so I got that. Nonetheless, that's what I used in my July 2017 video that panicked the church. And so I kept going. I'm not going to stop there. The wifey that I had at the time demanded that I reveal the date for the Exodus. But dear, I just got started. And she couldn't endure and left. Missed the big event that started the latter days. Couldn't endure to the end. And thus made me vulnerable to the attacks by the church. Church was on a full-on hunt. Destroy him! And so, she being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. Jupiter, obviously. So that's part of one. Because then the text says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven. Okay, so let's go forward from the 23rd of September 2017. See if we can find this. Oh, there it is. December 17th, the 5th dark day of Hanukkah. It's amazing how many people don't know about the 5th dark day of Hanukkah. There's no 5th dark day of Hanukkah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What's on the 5th day of Hanukkah every single year? The new moon. Thus, the 5th dark day. Do you not even know the story from Maccabees? God. And again, I have to remind everybody, I'm the foremost anthropologist of the ancient Middle East. You do need to consult me. Just unbelievable. So, great red dragon, 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns upon his heads. Serpents. Obviously. obviously, sure enough, 17th December 2017. The additional to make 10 at the horns occurred. And so I kept going because I didn't understand, and his tail drew. There was not another wonder in heaven. And so I was kind of confused with verse 4. But I assumed that it had to be something else because of verse 3 already being at the tail of serpents. So I was kind of confused by this. What does this mean? And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven? Because it's serpents, but this is weird. Third part of the stars. I don't understand. I don't understand. This is weird. And December came and went. And then on that fateful day, knowing of a lunar eclipse, knowing that, is a prophet of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints going to die under this lunar eclipse? This ginormous, super blood blue wolf moon lunar eclipse. A bigly event. Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? I don't know. Plus or minus. Gotta watch. Gotta wait. Still trying to figure out where is this tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven? Did cast them to the earth? Where is it? When is it? January 2nd, 10:01 p.m. Bye-bye, Munson. Bye-bye. There it is. Oh my hell. Oh my hell. Right there the whole time. Quadranted meteor showers at the tail of Draco the Dragon, the third largest meteor showers of the year. Every year, the first week of January. So humiliating. So humiliating. And so then, she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with the Book of Mormon. And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. And so I'm like, what the hell? Where's this? Because I'm looking after January 2nd. Where is this? What the hell's going on? What the hell? Travis, look in the footnotes. Oh, how did I miss this? So humiliating. So humiliating. Footnote 1a. Joseph Smith translation, Revelation chapter 12, verses 1 to 17. Parentheses. Appendix. Note the changed sequence of verses in the Joseph Smith translation. Oh. Yeah, there it was. All the time. And thus why the July 2017 video only shows verses 1 and 2. After, in 2018, I now have a new picture that includes all the way to Ophiuchus. You know, serpents, the tail of the dragon. Serpents. It's supposed to be at verse 3. with the 23rd of September 2017. Because God is Saturn, the father of Jupiter. The throne is Ophiuchus. Serpens is being defeated by Ophiuchus. So yeah, as I would go on, I recognized, oh, hey, there was Elko, Nevada, the book signing that I went to in February. And verse 15, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away in the flood. And the earth helped the woman. So guess who was in Salt Lake City doing that Family Discovery Days thing, Roots Tech, in Salt Lake City? The woman. Just remember, Joseph Smith translation. There's other stuff there too. The woman is the church, verse 7. Thus Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City was the only place not affected by the floods. Everywhere around was flooded. I went right into the flood zone, the big news flood zone. Elko, Nevada. Nelson was safe in Salt Lake City. I feel safe in Salt Lake City. I feel safe in Salt Lake City. So yeah, I went, whoa, that's interesting. But that was back in February. Interesting. Step back in time. So yes, that's how I also confirmed, as it was made official the night that Monson died, because there was Mars at the top of the scales of judgment. So sure enough, Salt Lake City, Mars was safe in the signs in the heavens. There with Venus, his wife, for the little talk he gave about how he knows that Hebrew is made up of Hebrew words for the meaning and translation. He knows, even though he still botched Elijah wrong, he at least knows that much. And so when he went and botched Israel, he knows he did it wrong. He knowingly botched it, because he knows that Hebrew words are composed of smaller Hebrew words because of Elijah. He knows, and yet he still botched Israel. He knowingly botched it. Okay? So, we're just gonna not go over all the others. That was my intention for the playlist on the 11 years of the full latter days, starting from 2014 to go to 2015. The Book of Mormon tells you this. Been doing the videos, been doing the videos, been doing the videos. We'll come back to Revelation in just a second, as we need to go to the Book of Mormon, that all Mormons don't believe and say it's still true with lip service. Verse 2. The Book of Mormon is written in the learning of the Jews, not the Christians, not the Islamists, Jews. Language of the Egyptians. Which Jews? Verse 4. First year of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah, thus pre-Babylonian captivity Jewish Egyptians. Duh. Not modern Orthodox, James. Tell your Jewish Orthodox buddy those Jewish scriptures are pre-Babylonian captivity, Jewish Egyptian. He's supposed to know this information in order to become a rabbi. That's part of the test of becoming a rabbi, is knowing Jewish history. Doesn't he know about the mountain of Salem, where King David Moses III put his foot on the Mount of Olives in the midst of the Battle of Armageddon 1? Doesn't he know that history? Why not? Because that's why the temple was built along with the palace. Everybody thinks they're an expert. 8 through 10. There it is. The 23rd of September 2017, at the beginning of the Book of Mormon, the first year. Which technically, if it were literal history, would be 597 BCE. Not 600. We have to prove that Jesus was born in 1 CE. And so we're revising history to prove it. Oh my God. But no, it has to do with the signs in the heavens for the latter days. That's why the author of the Book of Mormon wrote in the learning of the Jews, language of the Egyptians. Should have caught on. You didn't. He got deceived by the great and abominable church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So yes, that's the 600 years from the time Lehi left Jerusalem. Exodus. Big clue. And yes, I did those videos back in 2016. I think I figured it out in December of 16. Because that was one of the things I checked. That's a sign in the heavens. The birth of Jesus. Well, let's find the birth of Jesus. Let's find the sign. Oh, there it is. 4 CE. Yep, sure enough, 600 years from the time Lehi left Jerusalem. Book of Mormon is so true. Hey Mormons, Book of Mormon's true. Just not your truth. Your truth is false. Should have trusted the Book of Mormon. Should have trusted Joseph Smith. You didn't. You changed them to make them true for you. You can't do that. So, after 2021, the Exodus years, 2020, 2021, 600 years from the time Lehi left Jerusalem, 20 years before the very day of the last day of the latter days, 8 April. I knew 2020 and 2021 was the Exodus year. But what the hell happened? Everything happened. I did my part. I did the videos. YouTube was on a tear to shut me down and silence me. Had to use my other channel to have the 8.7K videos that I have. What the hell happened? Why did we not get results? Like that first lunar eclipse in 2014. What am I missing? What's more that needs to be added here? I don't understand. Everything happened. Why? Why? Con! I don't get the women. Only Kirk does. And so years go by. 2024 comes and goes. You know, at least Ballard with the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. Because by then I'd already found, because it was after months and finding him, I had the idea, well, let's go through all of them to check lunar eclipses. That's why I have been telling you about the curse of Joseph Smith. And in the beginning, it was just for lunar eclipses, because that's the only test that I ran, was for lunar eclipses. Every single one, a lunar eclipse. Oh, cool. Sure enough, it is true. And then found some others, like Bruce R. McConkie, not just Perry Pecker Scott, and Hales, that also died under the lunar eclipse. And so then you watch my videos and you see me talking about solar eclipses, and needing to run the test for the presidents of the church with solar eclipses, and so then finally I get around to it, and then I do the Curse of Joseph Smith in full with solar eclipses, lunar eclipses. Yep, confirmed. All of the prophecies, all of the signs in the heavens have to do with only the religion of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, nobody else. Not Christians, not Jews, not Islam, just Mormons. That was wild. So yes, that's why I keep telling you that there's a higher power that we do not see, that is not for the Christians, not for the Jews, not for Islam. He's for Joseph Smith. And he is pissed with Brigham Young and every one of the leaders after him. He is furious. And yet, Nelson, I defy you. I'm not afraid of you. Okay. If you seriously believe that the devil will support his own, some cojones, President Nelson, baby name meaning Russell Marion. Cojones. Mucho grande cojones. Did I put them in the right order? Or is it cojones mucho grande? Or is it grande mucho? I didn't take Spanish. Nevertheless, but I'm concerned. What happened? Why is there no fall of the great and abominable church? Why is there no transfer of authority? So that I can take Mormons in an exodus that was supposed to be in 2020, 2021. So for those of you who are new, and you missed all the videos of the lawsuits that I did with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints against the church, They know me. Nelson knows me. Oaks knows me. Holland knows me. Right, Holland? How is your heart these days? They see me as the enemy. Obviously. Mormons do. Obviously. Mormons hate me. They want me dead, they want me silenced, because I say the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith are true. Kill the beast! He will run off with your children in the middle of the night with his monstrous appetite. Kill the beast! Kill the beast! You really need to pay attention to the theme songs in the description below, guys. I used to have people call in requests. It doesn't really work that way, guys. I have to have the video in mind first, and the video determines what the theme song would be. I can't create a video based on a theme song. But, you know, I tried as best I could to fit people's song requests in, and even got to the point where I was doing an opening, closing hymn, and then even intermediate hymns. Nonetheless, notwithstanding, so they know me. The one thing you do in war is you need to know your enemy. You cannot just ignore your enemy and handle war whenever they strike, responding to them attacking you. You need to know them. You need to find out what they're up to, what they're planning, what they're plotting. I did it to the church. And I've done those videos. Going over the Danites, Thomas B. Marsh, Joseph Fielding Smith Sr. They were pissed. And so, yes, I would eventually find out about the Strengthening Church Members Committee. Oh, that's why my bishop said that a YouTube video of mine on Adam Fell must be taken down because it goes against the prophets. Wait, the Book of Mormon goes against the prophets? Or does the prophets go against the Book of Mormon? Yeah. Nobody is to go against the Book of Mormon, Mormons. You know this. It's the keystone for a reason. That should have been your big clue when the church prophets go against the Book of Mormon, go against our founder, Joseph Smith. Nonetheless, I knew that Strengthening Church Members Committee were following my channel now. That they were spying on me. That they were the ones who ordered the Mormon YouTube employee down in Utah County to attack me and shut me down and silence me all these years, to cyber attack me, to computer attack me. And currently on Wednesdays and Thursdays, as has been the pattern. Weird. See, notice no problems with the video freezing today. Amazing. God. But when is the fall? We finished the latter days. It's over. I would expect that Nelson and the 12, all of them, also have to watch all my videos. If I am their enemy, as they suppose, they need to watch, not just have the Strengthening Church Members Committee watch and return and report. They need to watch. If I am their enemy, they need to watch. They would be stupid to not. Because I might pull some stunt in a video that the Strengthening Church Members Committee might fail and drop the ball to return and report about. Never trust an underling to do a job that you need to do. But what do they do? How do they do it? If they use their YouTube channel, which they keep a super sacred secret, other people following them would be recommended my videos. Oh crap! Travis got a breakout video. How is this happening? Consult the Mormon YouTube employee in Utah County. What's going on? Well, you've triggered the algorithms by watching his videos. Signed in. I'll try to adjust them. I would recommend you use a dummy account. So I'll have to punish Travis to fix the algorithms to punish him further so that he can be silenced again. God. So that's why I do my church news videos, guys. That's why every single time Nelson speaks, I'm on it. Like last night. I know my enemy. Do they know me? They think I'm the enemy. They don't know me. They're still trying to figure me out. They still do the same things over and 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 keep expecting a different result. They do not know me yet. They know me, but they don't know me. Just stupid. Nevertheless. 2024 comes and goes. The Latter-day Signs are over. We're done. Latter days. Supposed to be in the millennium. I knew we were going to go overtime because the scriptures say you go overtime into the millennium. But what happened? And so I'm paying attention to the news, national news, world news, because the scriptures tell me to. These are the latter days. I need to know what's going on to warn you guys in advance. Nelson doesn't. He hangs you out to be murdered. Here's a target on Mormons. Get them! I'll sign a check for $1,000 for every soldier of Mormonism that you shoot. And then I'll meet with your leader, make a business deal. You do know that's what Trump did for our soldiers. And then on the second coming, he met with them. The very guy that signed the order of extermination of our soldiers and would pay money for it, then met with Trump and made a business deal with him. You wouldn't know this if you weren't paying attention to the news. You need to pay attention to what's going on. Mormons should have. When Nelson got up and said, "These are the latter days," all Mormons at that point should have been studying their scriptures, should have been paying attention to local national and world news. They didn't. Mormons took their religion for granted. They did not read, because the church tells you not to. You're just supposed to get a spiritual witness feeling that it's true and then obey the living prophets of Jesus. But, as Oak said, Mormons don't even listen to us because they're too enthralled with our mantle, so bright and bigly. A living prophet of Jesus, that mantle is so huge. I didn't see them using it to part the waters, and yet I did it. You do know about Elijah and Elishua, mantle? No? Okay, whatever. Whatever. Kind of need to know your scriptures if you're going to watch my channel. You know, I try to go over scriptures when I can to explain them for you, but these little side jokes of mine are scripture-based. Kind of need to know your scriptures, kind of need to know Mormonism. The younger generation doesn't get my Mormon jokes. They don't know Mormonism. How weird is that? What's up with your grandkids? Majority of my viewers. What the hell are you doing? What happened? Why did you raise your kids wrong? Dear God, you offered them up as sacrificial lambs to this church. So, more stuff that I'm talking about with you guys about scripture prophecies. I'm doing some of my own stuff for you to show you that I've got the keys of Moses, that I have seer, I am the seer, the revelator, the prophet, the translator of Paleo, Hebrew, and Egyptian. Mormons don't believe. You're not the head of the church. Yeah, you didn't quite understand section 107, verse 91 and 92, did you? The head of the church has the gifts. He has the keys. It's not titles. That's the false prophets. You got deceived. But they have shiny titles. They don't even claim translator. So, church is true. Whatever. October Conference 2024. Nelson says in the coming day, yet again. I do the video on it. YouTube makes sure nobody watches it. Directs everybody to my Oaks video instead. A month later, Mormons come back from vacation, smearing poop on the walls of the Capitol. And realize that Nelson had said in the coming day, Jesus, it's going to burn people. Oh my God. And one of those girls who knew, who do YouTube videos, found Sister Jessica, her mission website. Passed the information on to a guy she has a crush on. The guy has a crush on her, but they don't want to tell each other that they have a crush on each other. And so he does the video on it. talking about how awesome she is, recommending her channel. Oh, stop. Get to the point of your video. Get a room, you two. They never will. Friends in love, always love together. Friends in love. Johnny Mathis, the legend. And the YouTube Mormon employee thinks that he's gonna prove the church is true by recommending Mormon video channels for me. You need to know your enemy. When he says he's the foremost anthropologist of the ancient Middle East, you can't just say, well, you're my enemy, therefore you're not true. And so you ignore me. Oops. Oops. You need to know your enemy. That's why I warn you of your enemy, Mormons, and it ain't me. Yep, Oaks got leaked in 2020. Oh, was I pissed. A test run? A bleepin' test run. Unbleepin', bleepin', bleepable. A test run? Are you bleepin' kidding? I did everything, and it was a test run? Oh my hell, a test run. You almost assassinated Mitt Romney, and it was just a test run? See, Mitt Romney, you should have won that election in 2012. George is not happy with you. Tried to murder you because you lost to Obama. And everybody found out about the super sacred secret underwear of the symbol of sexual abuse by this church. Which I always enjoyed doing sexual abuse of the patriarchal authority videos, because that has a tendency to piss them off the most. Well, you're the ones prostituting Mormons. If you can't own it, if you won't tell them the truth, let them believe that they're gonna save their dead ancestors by paying you money. They're being held in bondage by this church and Jesus. Pay the atonement money back to Jesus. You owe him. And not a single one of you are obeying Nelson. You're supposed to be practicing polygamy. You're supposed to be having sexual relations with a child bride wife of 11 years old. You're not obeying him. And thus he's going to murder you for your disobedience. You need to know your enemy. And you think it's me. And so you ignore the real enemy threat to you. That is within. That is in the leadership. I accusing others of being the enemy within. Right, Trump? Right? I warn, nobody listens, nobody cares, nobody believes. Yeah. So here we are. This is it. This is not a test run. This is what Oaks said was not going to be a test run. And so instead of $6 billion on the stock market, the church has made over $10 trillion. Isn't that special? Isn't that special? And so thus I've been doing all the videos, going over Sister Jessica over and 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 over. Because she's more pleasing to look at than I am. And so, back to the Joseph Smith translation, Revelation chapter 12, verses 1 to 17, for the 16th of June, 2025. Verse 5 gets moved to verse 3. Verse 3 gets joined with verse 4. And so now, and there appeared another sign in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns upon his heads. Serpents. And his tail, serpent's tail. Not Draco the dragon this time. See, in January, for the quadrantan meteor showers, I went, oh, a remembrance of the death of Monson and the ascension to the throne by Nelson. Anybody remember that? The day after the Islamic attack in New Orleans. Church funded, by the way. Church funds Islamic terrorism. Church funded the war against Ukraine. Church funded as part of business deals. Church doesn't just give away money to terrorists. They expect something in return. And so his tail, serpent's tail, 3 falling stars. Cast to the earth. Do you remember the 23rd night, September? Oh, it was the 21st, which is the 22nd. Did those videos for you too. Joseph Smith was giving you dates, guys. He knew. Trying to warn you. You wouldn't listen. He told you that there would be only one Mormon who would know this information, and you need to listen to him or you're all going to die. Because he's going to know the enemy. You apparently got deceived. So did it happen? Did you get deceived? I mean, granted, we were born and raised in the church, so we were indoctrinated without being told how to learn. They kind of sabotaged us. So, last night, as I realized, great, Nelson gets to Regulus. We're all doomed. It's all hopeless. We're all gonna die. I went and checked the general stellarium for the day. I went, oh, yeah, 3 stars in Ophiuchus. I've known about them for months. Last night it finally hit me. Oh my God. because Mars at Regulus. So it reminded me of the 21st of August 2017, Monson's birthday. And how the solar eclipse occurred there. But this is not an eclipse. Mars makes it to the star Regulus today, right now, and the signs in the heavens, even though we don't see it yet. You technically should see it in the evening, I guess, after the sun goes down, possibly before the evening. Possibly before tomorrow at noon. I mean midnight. Maybe. But regardless. Yeah, you should. Because it's only 3 constellations away from the sun. So after the sun sets, you should see it before midnight. So you would have seen it last night. So thus why I remembered the 3 stars in serpents. They're there. But I went and checked the others. So the moon is there at the tail of the goat beast. You saw that as the thumbnail picture, didn't you? Didn't you? The belly of the beast. And so yes, the falling moon, because it's not new anymore, or full anymore. It's now falling as it gets to the sun. So the falling moon at the tail of the goat beast. Saturn is on the back of the white horse at the tail of Cephas, the water beast. Venus is in Aries, the sacrificial ram-lamb constellation. Abraham sacrifices Isaac and a ram appears. 8 April 4 CE, 2020 years before the final solar eclipse over the United States of America, forming the letter A in Paleo-Hebrew script, tipped on its side, with the X for the last letter, first and last letter of the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet, over the United States of America. The sun god at noonday casting his shadow on the United States of America. Amen, Emmanuel. Who's the foremost anthropologist of the ancient Middle East? Why aren't you listening to him? Why aren't you believing? I know he's ugly, and he doesn't do pretty pictures. He's not a priest crafter. What's at the tail? The Aretids, falling stars. Venus, the inverted pentagram, the falling star of Lucifer. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, with the very symbol of Lucifer on the keystone of the doors of the Salt Lake Temple. That's you, Mormons. It also is certain women who, likewise, die. Right, Sister Jack? And so, there's the sun, there at the top of the horns, heading towards Jupiter, and Jupiter will become Emmanuel on the 24th. As he did the Syracuse videos for you. Oh, Nelson, I warned you. Don't touch the Ark of the Covenant. Don't do it. Now, Mercury, that's Trump. Mercury is the trump of the gods. Trump, Mercury. Remember, I ran the test. Government leader. Now he's between life and death. Is somebody going to assassinate him? Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints says yes. I tried to warn you, Trump. You didn't believe. You didn't believe. So, there's a couple other fun stuff. 2 falling stars at the tails of Hydra that Hercules is battling. At both feet of Hercules, the tails of the Hydra beast. And also, getting stomped on, it's not quite at the tail, of the Pisces ostrinids. It's another, or it's actually Sagittarius. The feet of Sagittarius, falling stars. Crushing the falling stars. So yeah, there's a lot of falling stars, falling references here, as Mars is now at Regulus. So pay attention today, heads up. It may just been last night's video that Nelson did, but you'll find out today. I don't know. But it's in the air tonight. I know what you did. I've been waiting for all of these years. Oh Lord. Theme song in the description below.